You didn't need it anyway, my father remarked, his tone nonchalant as it came through my phone's speaker, seemingly unfazed by the fact that he had just confessed to appropriating my entire college fund. Moreover, the accomplishments of the past are now history. There is no benefit in becoming upset about the situation at this time. My name is Vanessa, and at the age of 25, I found myself in my small apartment in London, listening to my father articulate the reasons behind his decision to deplete the account designated for my final year of college. This fund had been established through a combination of scholarships, part-time employment, and diligent savings accumulated since high school. What is the remaining amount? I maintained a steady voice. Despite my hands trembling. Departed? There is nothing remaining, my dear. I had some financial obligations to settle. There is no need for concern. You possess a high level of intelligence. You will find a solution. Determine a solution as if I had an option. It is as if he had not appropriated 4 years of my diligent efforts while I was studying abroad. A situation I was unable to prevent due to his status as a co-signer on the account I established at the age of 17. I understand, I responded softly. I wish you the best of luck with that endeavor. That is my daughter, he responded, misinterpreting my composure as agreement. I have consistently demonstrated a practical approach. Much like your father, I must take my leave now. I will be meeting with some colleagues for a social gathering over drinks. I look forward to our upcoming discussion. I will be meeting with colleagues for a social gathering over drinks. I am investing my resources in this event. I was contemplating my future prospects. I took a seat at my modest desk, with a view of the London street that captured my affection during my semester abroad. There are 3 months remaining until my return home. It has taken 3 months to determine how to recover my senior year following the unexpected actions of my father. My phone vibrated once more. I received a text message from him on this occasion. Please refrain from discussing this with your mother or grandmother. It is unnecessary to create any cause for concern among them. Certainly, he preferred that they remain unaware. Similar to his desire to keep his gambling debts, unsuccessful business endeavors, and his history of unreturned loans concealed. He continued this behavior now. I powered on my laptop and commenced the process of creating a list. Initially, documentation. The documentation comprises bank statements that outline the account's history, verification of my deposits, and records of the scholarships I have received. Subsequently, conduct research. I possessed knowledge of legal resources, financial aid opportunities, and potential part-time employment options. My father consistently undervalued my abilities, perceiving me as a secondary option. He would comment, "It's fortunate that you are attractive," upon my achievement of straight A's, implying that my academic successes were of lesser importance than my physical appearance. Should college not yield the desired outcomes, one may consider the option of marrying into wealth. However, I have invested significant effort and made considerable progress to allow him to jeopardize my future. He perceived my calm acceptance of his theft as a practical response. He was unaware that the practical aspects were precisely what he should be concerned about. During the following week, I gathered information regarding the full scope of his betrayal. The account contained just over $42, funds accumulated through academic scholarships, summer employment, and prudent financial management. My father had systematically withdrawn the entire amount through a series of transfers over the past month, with each transaction being sufficiently small to evade immediate scrutiny. One evening, my roommate Emma discovered me amidst a collection of bank statements. "What actions did your father take?" she remarked while reading over my shoulder. "Is it possible to report him for theft?" I clarified that the account remained registered under his name. He had the legal right to access it. I never anticipated that he would take this action. I ought to have been more discerning. I should have recalled how he had borrowed my birthday money during my childhood, consistently assuring me that he would repay it, yet failing to do so. He attempted to persuade me to secure additional student loans under my name. He assured me that he would provide assistance in repaying these loans. I received numerous text messages from him on my phone. "Please refrain from concerning yourself excessively with financial matters. This may indicate that it is advisable for you to consider taking a break from your studies." I am aware of individuals who could assist you in securing a modeling position that offers more favorable compensation than your degree. Each message disclosed further insights into his lack of regard for my education, independence, and future prospects. In his view, I was merely an additional resource to utilize, a fallback for his unfavorable decisions. I initiated communication with my university's financial aid office, legal aid services, and my grandmother, who has consistently supported my academic aspirations. I have not disclosed all the information at this time. I have merely collected data and evaluated my options. The subsequent call from my father occurred during my class session. Hello, I have a quick question. Do you happen to have any additional savings accounts? I have always appreciated your financial acumen, and I was wondering about your insights. The casual entitlement in his voice provoked a strong reaction in me. Yet I maintained a light tone. Could you please clarify the reason for your inquiry? There is, in fact, no hidden agenda. I am currently considering your future prospects. Fathers are known for their typical behavior. I am considering my future prospects, as he did when he depleted my college fund, similar to his previous attempts to dissuade me from pursuing studies abroad. He asserted that I was evading family responsibilities. I apologize, Dad, but I am currently in class. I look forward to our conversation later. I concluded the call and opened my laptop, adding another item to my expanding list. Terminate any outstanding accounts that he may be aware of. Please proceed with transferring all assets to new accounts at an alternative banking institution. That evening, I received an email from my grandmother. I contacted your father today. He appeared to be apprehensive when I inquired about your college fund. Is everything in order? I smiled. I found it difficult to overlook the possibility of his discomfort. He had always harbored a fear of my grandmother, the sole individual who had ever effectively held him accountable. Could we have a discussion? I have responded. It is important to bring to your attention certain information. My grandmother's response was prompt and intense. Upon receiving the complete account, she convened an emergency family meeting in the absence of my father. During our video call, she articulated her frustration, with my mother and aunt present beside her. Was he misappropriating funds from his own daughter? I observed their expressions as I presented the bank statements, the text messages, and the nonchalant manner in which he had disregarded my future. My mother's hands shook as she read his messages. She whispered that she was unaware. He informed me that you have made the decision to take a break from your studies and are considering relocating back home. Indeed, he had. My father consistently demonstrated a talent for crafting narratives that aligned with his objectives. How often had he reframed my accomplishments to center them around himself? How frequently had he claimed credit for my achievements while covertly sabotaging them? I communicated to them that I had been diligently recording each step of the process. I have meticulously recorded all withdrawals, communications, and phone calls. I will not allow this situation to go unaddressed. My aunt, who is a lawyer, leaned forward. The account issue presents complexities due to his role as a cosigner, however. There may be alternative approaches we can explore. Has he provided any written assurances regarding the repayment of the funds? I have gathered additional screenshots, emails in which he acknowledged that the funds were intended for my education. He referenced the possibility of reimbursing me at some point in his messages. My aunt expressed her approval by stating that it was perfect. While it may not be legally binding, it provides significant leverage for subsequent actions. What is the subsequent step? My mother inquired. Subsequently, my grandmother stated that we must ensure Gregory understands the implications of his actions and the individuals affected by them. We developed the plan efficiently. My grandmother would address him initially, informing him that the family was aware of his actions. My aunt would prepare a formal demand letter, outlining his options for making restitution. My mother would ultimately proceed with filing for the divorce she had been contemplating for years. My grandmother remarked that he has consistently underestimated you. He regarded you as an extension of himself instead of recognizing you as an individual. It is time for you to disclose your authentic self. On that evening, my father made another phone call. He remarked cautiously that your grandmother appeared to be upset today. Did you refrain from disclosing any information to her? Could you please provide clarification on the topic you were discussing? Father, did you misappropriate the college fund? Did you make an effort to undermine your daughter's future? Or is it merely your fundamental belief that your daughter's education is of lesser importance than your legal expenses? There has been no response from him. It is now your opportunity. Princess, please refrain from addressing me as Princess. Please refrain from contacting me. Moving forward, Aunt Sarah will handle all matters. Sarah, could you please clarify the reason for your aunt's involvement? That is due to her profession as a lawyer. Father, you will soon require one as well. We anticipated my father's response. His initial reaction was one of denial, subsequently followed by anger. His attempts at manipulation seemed quite desperate. You are exaggerating the situation. He texted. It was merely a financial matter. The significance of family surpasses that of financial wealth. I have forwarded each message to my aunt without providing a response. Permit him to explore his misrepresentation in greater depth. His subsequent action was to arrive at my grandmother's residence, where I was staying prior to my return flight to London. She prevented him from passing the front porch. How could you possibly consider such an action? She asserted her demands with sufficient volume for the neighbors to overhear. Are you misappropriating your daughter's college fund? Do you not possess any sense of propriety? I kindly request that you lower your voice. Mother, this is a personal matter concerning the family. Indeed, you have acted in a manner that is disloyal to your family. Please leave the premises immediately, or I will have to contact law enforcement. He has departed. However, the text persisted. Your grandmother has influenced your perception of me. I am your father. Respect is expected in our interactions. Given the efforts I have made on your behalf, do you still believe that respect is warranted? I reflected on all that he had truly done for me. He made efforts to diminish my academic achievements. He had taken advantage of my childhood savings. He regarded my success as a resource available for his use whenever required. My aunt delivered the demand letter to his residence through certified mail. Contained within was a comprehensive record of every cent he had received, accompanied by various repayment options. It is not permissible to initiate legal action against one's own father, he stated, expressing his indignation. I instructed them to observe, then concluded the call. The family dispute was significant. Relatives with whom I had not been in contact for years reached out to convey their disapproval. His sister, my Aunt Patricia, recounted instances in which he had borrowed money from her children's birthday cards as well. She remarked that he has consistently behaved in this manner, taking what does not belong to him and anticipating that others will overlook his actions simply because he is family. My mother has officially initiated divorce proceedings, citing financial infidelity, among other factors. He revealed his history of theft from me during the initial hearing. You depleted your daughter's college fund to settle gambling debts? The judge inquired with disbelief. He weakly protested that he intended to repay it. What sum of money was he referencing? Based on the provided statements, it appears that you have not maintained consistent employment for the past 3 years. His meticulously crafted persona as a jovial and benevolent father was deteriorating. Each effort to justify his actions only exposed further aspects of his genuine character. The financial aid office at the university demonstrated a commendable level of assistance once they comprehended the circumstances. They assisted me in obtaining emergency funding and developed a payment plan for my final year. My grandmother was determined to provide coverage for what she could, although I was reluctant to accept her assistance. In contrast to your father, she stated with conviction, I recognize the importance of education and the significance of honoring commitments. My father's reply to the demand letter was to assert financial hardship, maintaining that he had no means to repay the funds he had taken. Subsequently, my aunt became aware of his recent acquisition of a new vehicle, the vacation photographs he had shared on social media, and the country club membership that he appeared to still possess. She clarified that he is not financially disadvantaged. He possesses proficiency in asset concealment, however. His abilities are inadequate. His text messages became progressively more urgent. Your actions are significantly impacting my life negatively. This marks the first instance in which my own daughter has opposed me. I expected more from you based on your upbringing. Each message disclosed further aspects of his authentic character. He stripped away the facade of a caring father, exposing the manipulative individual underneath. The decisive moment occurred when he attempted to incite my younger cousins against me, alleging that I was trying to financially undermine him out of malice. Instead, they provided screenshots of his messages, contributing to my expanding collection of evidence. Recall the assurance provided by Uncle Greg regarding the security of our college funds? My cousin Jake has authored a piece of writing. It appears we have reached a clear understanding of the implications. My aunt assisted them in securing their accounts prior to any further attempts from him. The pattern of financial abuse was gradually revealing itself, one family member at a time. Throughout my mother's divorce proceedings, additional revelations emerged. He had been concealing funds for several years, securing loans in her name, and even attempting to remortgage their home without her awareness. My mother recognized that he has been treating the entire family as if we were his personal ATM while we continued to make excuses for his behavior. My grandmother organized another family meeting, once again without his presence. Family members recounted instances of unpaid loans, unfulfilled promises, and breaches of trust. Every account reinforced our commitment to ensuring accountability. My aunt noted that he has consistently relied on family loyalty to protect him from facing consequences. It is important to demonstrate that loyalty is a reciprocal commitment. My father encountered a series of repercussions. Initially, my mother's divorce attorney discovered his concealed accounts, resulting in a significantly larger settlement than he had expected. Afterwards, my aunt's legal intervention forced him to agree to a repayment plan that included interest for the stolen funds. The carefully constructed image of a generous and fun-loving father disintegrated entirely when the family discovered that he had been borrowing money from elderly relatives, assuring them of returns on investments that ultimately did not materialize. As she continued to compile these findings into her expanding file, my aunt remarked that it was a typical Ponzi scheme. His text messages transitioned from expressions of frustration to requests for assistance. I remain your father, and I believe we can resolve this matter together. We all make errors. Could you consider extending your forgiveness to me? How do you believe others will perceive your treatment of your father in this manner? I reflected on the numerous occasions he had employed guilt as a means of manipulation, distorting each circumstance to portray himself as the victim. That is no longer the case. With the assistance of my grandmother's professional network, I obtained a part-time position that enabled me to pursue my degree concurrently with my employment. My professors, recognizing my circumstances, assisted me in organizing a flexible schedule. Each minor achievement appeared to represent a progression away from his influence. I was taken aback by the support from the family. Family members recounted their experiences regarding his financial manipulation. Relatives who had previously supported his behavior now took a definitive stance against him. Even distant relatives extended their support to provide encouragement. One evening, my grandmother informed me that your father had called, attempting to persuade me to dissuade you from the repayment plan, asserting that it was detrimental to the family. What information did you convey to him? He caused its destruction himself when he took it from his own daughter. His recent attempt at manipulation involved attending my graduation uninvited and unwelcome. Yet he was resolute in portraying himself as a proud father. He proclaimed proudly for all to hear, "That is my daughter. She has acquired her business acumen from me." Aunt Sarah made arrangements to escort him out before the ceremony began. She informed me afterward that your success is your own. He has no right to claim credit for actions he tried to prevent. A year following the dispute regarding my misappropriated college fund, my father's meticulously built life had entirely collapsed. The divorce revealed his financial strategies to all parties involved. Former associates who had invested in his business ventures were seeking clarification. Relatives from whom he had borrowed funds were initiating legal proceedings. The graduation party, organized by my grandmother, served as a celebration not only of my academic accomplishments but also of my newfound independence. Friends and family convened to provide their support, with many sharing their own experiences of confronting manipulative parents. During the party, my mother mentioned that your father called me yesterday. Your father inquired whether I could discuss the possibility of discontinuing the repayment plan. indicating that he has gained insight from the experience. Has he done so? I inquired. Considering his most recent social media updates, he persisted in maintaining a lifestyle beyond his financial capacity. Feigning that all was well, she let out a sigh, indicating her disagreement. He has come to understand that he can no longer influence you. This is not equivalent. The repayment plan that my aunt established was stringent. He was required to make direct monthly payments from his paycheck, with no room for exceptions. He was compelled to obtain stable employment following the failure of his ventures. As his prior lifestyle became untenable due to the absence of financial support, he conveyed his dissatisfaction in his latest email. It is important for you to express unconditional love toward me, as I hold the role of your father. Love is not an unconditional guarantee. I responded, marking my final direct correspondence with him. Conditions arise as a consequence of breaching trust. My career was progressing significantly. My academic qualifications and unwavering determination have enabled me to secure a position with a renowned firm in London, thereby unlocking opportunities that previously seemed unattainable. Each success was especially satisfying because I achieved it entirely according to my own terms. My grandmother emerged as my most steadfast supporter, her unwavering protection serving as a notable contrast to my father's self-interested affection. He made another call, during our Sunday dinner. She informed me that he inquired about your job status in London and expressed his desire to visit once you were settled. Was his intention to visit you? Or was he merely inquiring about financial assistance? I inquired, fully aware of the response. It is likely that both options are applicable. I communicated to him that I would no longer be able to support his lifestyle choices. The family dynamics have undergone a permanent transformation. Family members who previously supported his actions are now expressing concerns regarding his recent plans. His sister, my Aunt Patricia, initiated a family group chat specifically to monitor his attempts at manipulation. She reported that he had attempted to persuade my son to co-sign a car loan, suggesting that it would assist in building his credit. Does this resonate with you? It indeed occurred. At the age of 18, he employed a similar strategy with me, attempting to burden me with debt prior to the commencement of my college education. At that time, my grandmother intervened by reviewing the documentation and cautioned me regarding exploitative practices, including those originating from certain family members. As I observed his world diminish while mine grew, I experienced not a sense of triumph but rather a feeling of validation. Each payment he made, compelled by legal obligations rather than a sense of paternal duty, confirmed what I had always understood. He possessed the ability to act appropriately, he simply did not believe it was necessary. My success has evolved into a means of safeguarding myself. As I accomplished more, his ability to influence my future diminished. The degree he attempted to undermine now adorns my wall, with each achievement serving as a testament that his most significant error was not the theft of my finances, but rather the misjudgment of my determination. My return to London signifies the beginning of a new chapter. The firm extended an offer that encompassed not only employment but also the opportunity to pursue a future I had diligently constructed. Notwithstanding my father's efforts to impede it, my modest apartment in the city has come to represent my independence. Financed entirely by my own resources and adorned according to my personal preferences. Devoid of any external influence he may attempt to assert, his efforts to sustain communication became progressively evident. The initial gesture was a birthday card, the first he had dispatched in several years, containing a thoughtfully composed message expressing his pride in our accomplishments. Have you observed how he signed it? My mother inquired during our phone conversation. With love, your devoted supporter, Dad. The man's audacity was indeed remarkable. Subsequently, social media posts emerged, featuring old family photographs in which I was tagged, accompanied by captions highlighting his consistent support for my aspirations. Each post was meticulously crafted to portray him as the dedicated father who had made significant sacrifices for his daughter's success. My Aunt Sarah assisted me in drafting a cease and desist letter when the posts escalated to allegations regarding his investment in my education. She articulated that he is endeavoring to alter historical narratives, and it is essential to maintain a documented record that counters his assertions. We anticipated his response. More attempts at manipulation. More claims of familial loyalty. And more references to his financial struggles. However, his words no longer held the capacity to cause me pain. Through familial discussions, I became aware of his recent plans. He began informing individuals that he had connections in London, implying that he could assist their children in securing opportunities overseas. Every attempt to capitalize on my success failed when they asked me to verify his claims. A family friend has informed me that your firm is currently seeking to hire new employees. He proposed to provide a favorable recommendation for my daughter for a nominal consulting fee. Naturally, I responded by clarifying that my father had no affiliation with my firm, no influence over the hiring process, and no entitlement to collect fees for unfulfilled promises. Every response seemed to create an additional obstacle between my reality and his falsehoods. My grandmother visited me in London, marking her first trip abroad at the age of 70. From her perspective, the career I've developed, the home I've established, and the future I've ensured have brought everything full circle. What makes me the proudest? She remarked during dinner at my favorite local pub. It is not solely the achievements that matter, but also the methodology employed to attain them. You chose not to allow bitterness to take hold, instead, you emerged stronger. That evening, I received an additional message from him. I understand that your mother is visiting. The apartment may feel somewhat confined. I can recommend some excellent hotels should you require assistance with the costs. I shared the message with my grandmother, and we both found it amusing. The tactics employed were familiar and now appeared transparent upon closer examination. Should I provide a response? I posed the question. Despite being aware of the answer beforehand, she stated, raising her glass, that your success is all the response he requires. 2 years following the dispute regarding my misappropriated college fund, my father's repayment plan remained in effect, with each monthly payment serving as a reminder of his responsibility. He attempted several strategies to minimize or postpone the payments, however. My aunt's legal oversight remained steadfast. At a recent family gathering, my cousin Jake recounted his personal achievement. He graduated without any debt, with his college fund securely placed in an account that was inaccessible to my father. Do you recall what Uncle Greg mentioned when I shared that information with him? Jake expressed amusement. I would like to express my appreciation for your strong response concerning your fund, as your dramatic reaction provided him with a valuable lesson. Did he acquire knowledge, however? I inquired, reflecting on his recent efforts to persuade family members to invest in his new business initiative. My Aunt Sarah interjected that he learned not to target family members who possess excellent legal representation. That concludes the information provided. My career has continued to thrive. I have been promoted to a senior position within the firm. I established my reputation through a commitment to detail and a strong determination that enabled me to navigate the challenges posed by my father's betrayal. The Christmas card he sent arrived at my London apartment, imbued with an artificial sense of cheerfulness and subtle references to his financial difficulties. He had inscribed, "I am still paying for one mistake. When will you release it?" I affixed it to my bulletin board alongside my degree and recent promotion letter, serving as reminders that his singular mistake did not determine my future. His signature at the bottom, which once represented paternal authority, now appeared as it truly was, the mark of a man who underestimated his daughter's strength and ultimately failed. My firm has requested that I deliver a speech on the topics of persistence and overcoming obstacles at its annual charity gala. I did not refer to my father explicitly, however. I discussed the moment I discovered that my college fund had been depleted, framing it not as a narrative of betrayal but rather as an important lesson in self-reliance. As I conveyed to the audience, there are instances when your most ardent supporters may transform into your most significant challenges. Their lack of recognition serves as your motivation. My father viewed the speech online. An individual had shared it in the family group chat from which he had been excluded. My grandmother mediated his response. She remains upset, leveraging my error to seek attention. No, my grandmother responded. She has achieved success by leveraging her strengths to assist others. There is a distinction. On a Tuesday, I received the most recent payment from my father. which was the final installment of the funds he had appropriated. A note had been attached. Can we restore our familial relationship? I have organized the receipt alongside my other documentation, which includes bank statements, text messages, and social media posts where he attempted to alter the narrative. This is not out of necessity, but rather as a reminder of the progress I have made. My mother, now happily remarried, articulated it most effectively. He believed that by taking your money, he could ensure your continued dependence on him. Rather, it liberated you. She was correct. Each effort he made to restrain me only propelled me further ahead. His most significant consequence was not the repayment plan or the disapproval from the family. It observed my success independent of him, surpassing him, in spite of him.